Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Kingpin podcast. Today we have a mentor of mine. This guy has helped me a lot throughout the years, or it's been about a year now that I've known you for. When it comes down to growth, whether it's sales, I don't know if any of you know this, but a lot of the main thing that I've been doing is selling solar, and Corey's been a big part of that in regards to helping me and mentor me throughout that process. Uh, I'm gonna go ahead and let you introduce yourself, let the people know what you do, and then we'll go ahead from there.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Hey, I appreciate you having me on, man.
No way.
Appreciate it a lot. Yeah, I mean, I'm Corey. I'm just living life, man. I'm figuring it out just like everyone else is, and we're all at different points. I've done a lot of things. I still do a lot of things, and yeah, I'm excited to be here. Appreciate you having me on, man.
Yeah, listen, I'm happy that you came on. I wasn't too sure if you'd say yes or no because I know you're a super busy guy. So let's kind of dig into you got into. I remember you telling me this like a while back. Like you finished university and then what was the first kind of like income stream for you?
Yeah. So here's the thing, man. I'm from the Midwest, United States. Like I was raised to be, a good Midwestern boy. Um, you know, just kind of raised in that environment. Go to school, get good grades, get a good ACT score in high school. Get into a good college. Study hard in college, get good grades. You got to get as best grades as you can, because then that'll get you the best job that you can with good job security. Like I was groomed for that kind of life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I did it. I did very well. I got very good grades. I went to class, did miss homework assignments, had fun along the way, a little bit of both, but I got my stuff done. And then I graduated college right when Rona hit, right? And when my mom graduated college, my grandma took her on a trip to Europe, a long trip to Europe, just to kind of see, our heritage and, our extended way back family. We know a couple people who still live in the countries. I'm German and Scottish. Um, and so my mom, when I graduated, she's like, I want to take you on a trip, right? And so I'm like I was raised middle class,
Yeah.
like not rich by any means, but not poor either. Like I got everything I needed. You know what I mean? No complaints, right? My parents gave me really, really good life. They still do, right? That being said, she put down all the deposits, for the trip. She was like, we're going on the trip, super excited. And then Rona hit, right? Smacked us right in the face. And we couldn't go to Europe anymore, right? And that was supposed to be in the time after I graduated college and in between when I started my corporate job. I got a job in the corporate world, right? It was a consulting job. They're going to send me around, travel around,
Oh
um,
wow.
help with some software. Yeah, everything like that. So that trip canceled, done, right? And it kind of put it in perspective for me. So I'm like, wait, hold up. So I'm missing this 2-week trip to Europe my parents had planned for me, right? My mom put time and effort into booking, spending money on, everything like that. Now I'm going to start my job, and I'm just never ever going to be able to take a trip with my mother, the person who's always been there for me, the best person in my life, right? I'm never ever going to be able to take a trip like that ever again
Yeah.
without taking my whole year's worth of PTO, right?
Yeah.
That didn't make sense to me at all. So when I started my job, I was already kind of checked out a little bit. I was like, I need to look for other ways to do stuff here, because this doesn't make sense to me. Like something's wrong. You know what I mean? So
So
that's what kind of kickstarted everything. I got on Twitter. I started on Money Twitter, which for people who don't know, it's like a niche of Twitter where it's like very baseline entrepreneurial. It's like start side hustles and do this and what about ecom and stuff like this. Right before you really find your niche, there's people who do literally everything. Flipping shoes, flipping pallets of items in warehouses, ecom, crypto, everything like that. And I just started throwing darts at the wall, man. Seeing what sticks. I'm like, look, one of these is gonna hit. If I keep rolling, I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll a double six at some point, right? So I kept throwing darts. I'm like, some of these are gonna hit, a one. Some of these are gonna hit double 20, and some of them are gonna hit the bullseye, right? And
right.
so, I had a few hit in each spot, right? And I think I've settled on, throughout my experiences, I've settled on what's been good for me, and I'm just living life now, man. I'm chilling here in Playa del Carmen right now with some beautiful views outside.
That's a
And, I
beautiful.
can't complain. Can't complain. I'm doing what I can to live life to the fullest. I'm not getting any younger, so.
Right, right. So you went on money towards a. What was was kind of the main thing for you that made money off of from that?
Yeah, so I started, like I said, I was throwing darts at the wall, man. I was doing a little bit of affiliate marketing. I made a little bit. That was my first online dollar, actually,
Yeah,
affiliate marketing.
affiliate marketing.
Yeah. Um, I bought a bunch of courses. I've always had a very, very liberal mindset with money. I spend it, I invest it in myself, right? I really have no problem, have had no problem up to this point investing in courses because I know that knowledge is going to come back to me, and I know where I'm going to be at the end of the day, bro. I'm going to be on the like I'm going to have the millions. Like at the end of the day, I know where I'm going to be, so I might as well invest the money it's going to take to get there. It's not going to put me on the street, right? My bank account's not going to hit zero. I'm still going to have food, right? So
Right.
I was very liberal with the money that I spent and invested in myself and the courses, learning how to do stuff. I tried to do, drop shipping for a second, didn't work
Mm.
out, right? Did affiliate marketing, didn't stick with that, got kind of boring, right? Obviously, crypto was like super taking off, and I'm like, yo, what is this crypto? And so I learned how to do all the basics of crypto, buy,
Right.
sell, send, stuff like that. Never got into day trading or anything. I actually got in the stock market. That was what like excited me. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
I was like,
Really.
okay, this is something where I can actually use my risk tolerance at a level that I'm comfortable with. I have a high risk tolerance, but it was intelligent. You know what I mean? Um, and so I got in the stock market. I still have that skills in the back of my mind, so I could still make money there if I wanted to. But it was too slow for me, right? I'm like, look, I don't want millions when I'm 50 years old. I want millions now, right?
Right.
I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
you can still get rich like that in the stock market, but I was using all of my income from my consulting job and just funneling it into basically money Twitter, but throwing darts at the wall essentially. And what ended up happening was I figured out that like it didn't matter how much information I was taking in, I wasn't taking enough action, right? Like I was taking action, but like I needed to like I wasn't moving really. Like I was learning, but I needed to hone in on really what I wanted to do. And I've always been a fan of sales, a good salesman. I had a lot of leadership, you know, in my life. Been in leadership positions throughout college, you know,
Right.
stuff like that. And so I've always been pretty good at sales. Ended up saying, look, I'm from the Midwest, and it's not getting any more exciting here. So I'm gonna have to go make a change. Decided just to move out to California and start selling solar in LA, San Francisco area.
Yeah. Yeah. And
That's
what
really
was
where I made most of the money. Right before
most of
that,
the
it was
money?
just here and there, throwing darts to the wall, affiliate marketing.
Right. Right. So let's dig in more to your the solar sales process or solar sales journey. Uh, so you started selling solar. You started by door knocking, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, with the sales experience I have now,
Right.
I'm a big proponent that door knocking is the absolute best and most effective way to learn scales if you're starting at zero, because it throws you into the fire basically, and it tells you
Exactly.
if you're cut out. So as long as you have an iron mind, as long as you have the mindset to continue to keep going, as long as you understand the law of averages, that some people are going to say no, most people are, but if you can get over the 95 no's, you're going to get 3 maybes and 2 yeses, right? A lot of people can't do that. Like they're just not built for that. People are built differently. Like that's a fact. And it tells you whether sales is something that's going to be for you, and it tells you a lot about yourself as well.
Yeah.
How much endurance you have. How much negative energy you can take. I have people cussing me out on the doors all the time. It's hard to knock on 95 doors, get 95 no's, just to see 2 yeses at the end, and then it makes it all worth it. Because if you get 3 maybes, 2 yeses out of those 5 leads at the end, those 2 maybes are paying all your bills and stacking money at the end of the day too. So, I mean, I think knocking doors is the most effective way to learn sales. if you're starting at zero, even better than cold calling, because cold calling is good. It teaches you the same kind of things about endurance and everything like that. But door knocking and especially closing in person, they have different factors,
Yeah.
right? Like you're in person and on the phone, you can use your voice inflection, right? So it's better than like text sales or something like that.
Right.
But in person, you have body language, you have voice inflection, you have eye contact, you have all the little nuances that you really, really need to not just be a good salesman, but to be able to be a good influencer in general. When
Right.
you're talking to
Right.
people in life. That's why I think sales is everything, man. Like I'm selling you right now on myself that I'm confident enough to come on the Kingpin podcast. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like you're selling me that you have you're a dope enough person. You have a dope enough podcast that it's worth my time to be on, right? And so it's
Right.
literally everything. You're talking to a girl sales, like not just cold approach or anything like that, but everything, literally everything. So I think it's the most effective skill, and the fact that you can make pretty much unlimited money with it, depending on how hard you work. Like it's, I think it's the best route for um, most people who are, you know, type A personalities, have a good sense of drive, a good sense of entrepreneurial, um, yeah, drive to them, yeah, everything like that.
Yeah. And I was talking to when I had Michael on the podcast. I was like, okay, when did you start
Hey,
selling?
Ringy, baby, love that dude.
Yeah, he's a G. I was like, when did you start selling? He was like, you know what? I was selling from when I was young. We're all selling. We're selling our parents on this. We're selling this girl on why should you go out with us? And yeah, sales is everything. And when I started getting into sales, everything else in my life did get better. I think it's like even if I started making money, if I didn't have some form of sales experience, I don't think my life would have been as complete to me. I feel like it's super super necessary.
Yeah, man, it definitely speeds up your progression in life. It's like it changes your mindset, which is really the most important thing. Like, it doesn't matter how many skills you have if you don't have the right mindset to be able to attack life and really see those changes that you're trying to make. Like, and I think sales gets you there faster. It's like, it's not just how do I sell people. It's how do I keep people in my pipeline? How do I complete how do I push them over the finish line? How do I negotiate? How do I, what are the nuances that I need to do to be able to adapt to this person's personality, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and those are very, very good networking tools to focus on as well, because obviously sales and networking go hand in hand. It's the same thing with girls, the same thing with literally everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right with that. And so when it comes down to like for me, it's kind of a similar thing in regards to. Let me just get this back up. Yeah, for me, it's kind of a similar thing in regards to I was kind of natural at selling,
Hmm.
and then I got into sales, and I slowly got better, and now I'm going to be doing more than likely going to be doing some door knocking because I agree with you on that. Like door knocking is the number one thing to do when if what your goal is to get better at sales. For you though, do you think the mindset of and this may be a stupid question now that I think of it, but do you think the mindset of oh, the more the law of averages thing, or the more you're not, do you think that's something that's kind of built into people?
It
Because I
depends, man.
yeah.
It's not that black and white.
Mm,
Uh, nature versus nurture, probably both. Like it is built into people. Not everyone can be a good salesman. Not everyone can be an entrepreneur. Some people like the normal 9 to 5 life. Me, I personally can never go back. Like, I'm either gonna have millions and millions of dollars, or I'm gonna be under a bridge and start figuring it out again. Like, there's
right.
no in between, bro. I mean, I have a good family. Worst case scenario, like if shit really hit the fan, like my parents would be like, "Here's some money for a plane ticket." Like, let's hit the reset button here. But I'm
Yeah.
never gonna let myself get to that position. Like it's it's built into people, yes, but it's also something that you can train yourself to do. It's like going to the gym, right? It's like you have to be able to train your muscles to a point to where they're stronger, and you can train your mind. The mind's the biggest. I don't know if it's a muscle, but it's the biggest trainable item that's in your body, right? You can take control of your mind once you actually realize that you control it. It doesn't control you, right? If you choose. So I mean, if you tell yourself, look, I'm knocking 100 doors today. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to check my phone. Like, you can do that. If you tell yourself you can do it, like, you can do it. There's no one stopping you from doing that. You have the ability to do that. It's just how hard do you want to complete that task that you set out for yourself? Because you could get to door 10 and then you're like, man, I just got 10 no's. Like, this is bullshit. Like, I'm going to check my phone, see what else is going on. Even though you told yourself you're going to check your phone. And then it becomes, how much does your word mean? Who are you as a man? Right? Because if you say you're going to do something and then you don't do it, like, if you don't have a good word as a man, like, what do you have? You know what I mean? So that's really all that it is. It is ingrained in you. Yes. Some people aren't built for certain things, right? I'm not built to be an engineer or a desk jockey. You know what? Like, I'm just not built that way, right? Some people aren't built to be salesmen, aren't built to be entrepreneurs, right? But at the end of the day, if I really wanted to sit behind a desk and learn to code, I could do it if I really wanted to. If I said, look, phone, do not disturb. I'm watching all these videos. I'm learning to code. I'm going to work for this company and get this project done. I could do that, right? If I have that sense of control over my mind. So that's really all that it is, right? Yeah. I mean, LeBron's not LeBron because he's the most gifted athletically. Like, he is very, very gifted athletically. He's one of the best athletes, right? But he's LeBron because of his mindset. He's LeBron because he put in the work and he had that discipline to become LeBron and create his own legacy. His athletic ability was just one piece to that puzzle.
Right. And so do you have any like sales ritual for like before going on the doors, or did you?
Yeah, I'll preface that by saying I'm not doing solar anymore. So, by the way, solar is right now at this point in time the best way to make money on the doors, without a doubt. I mean, it's something you can get behind too. Going on a little bit of a tangent, but like, I can't get behind selling like pest control or like alarms. I'm just gonna go and I'm just gonna be like, yo, you got some spiders, like, you want me to take care of that, right? With solar, I could actually like get passionate about that. I could be like, yo, listen, I'm not even selling you anything, bro. Like, I'm literally just offering to lower your electric bill. Like, this isn't a sales process. This is a qualification process. Do you want to lower your electric bill? Yes or no? I can help you do that, right? Like, I can get behind that, like, and that's because it's true. That's literally what it is. And it's in most cases, right? Yeah, I mean, my sales process before just had to do with that same kind of sentiment, which is take control of your mind. I didn't have like lucky socks that I wore or anything like that. You know what I mean? But before the doors, I'd be like, look, I'm about to do something that's hard today. I'm about to go out, walk on my 2 feet, and knock on random doors of strangers' houses and try to sell them something. That is a hard thing to do all day, every day. And I'm going to want to quit today. So what I'm going to tell myself before I go out on the doors, I'm going to get a good breakfast. I'm going to drink my coffee. And before I get out on the doors, I'm going to say, okay, when I roll up to turf, when I turn the keys out of my car, I'm going to get out of my car immediately. I'm not going to check Twitter. I'm not going to, mess around on my phone. I'm getting out of my car and I'm going to knock that first door, because that's what gets you the momentum to hit the second door and the third door. Because I don't know, you've never knocked doors yet, but you're going to find out. And anyone who's watching this knows that, there's days where you roll up the turf and you're just on your phone in your car for an hour and you're like, man, I'm chilling for a little bit until I like have to go out and work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's part of the mindset though. I mean, no one's perfect. You have to train your mind to get there. You're going to have days like that. And if the days where you're on top of your stuff, exponentially outnumber the days where you can do that, then it's gonna increase your production. And so that was my ritual, is just kind of recentering my mind at the beginning of every day. When I was in San Francisco area, Bay Area, I lived in a house with a bunch of other dudes, which was super dope because we were all in the same mindset. Like, it's the same sense of like, as a man, you have to have that group of people on the same mindset as you, pushing you towards success, right? I lived in a house with these guys. I was fortunate enough to be on a very, very good team with a company called Better Earth in California.
Yeah.
Shout out to Marshall Tootin. That's my guy. He's the team leader. He brought me out, really helped me, put me in that house, right? So I was in an environment where every morning we would do drills. We would make sure we're prepared. We're on top of it. Before we went out, we'd have our game plan and we'd go. It's going to be a little harder if you're by yourself, just
Right.
naturally with anything. You don't have that support group. You don't have that system who's, you're all going to the same goal. So I'd get up, we'd do some drills, we'd eat breakfast, we'd train, gym in the morning, right? Like we'd have that routine. But when it was time for me to go hit doors, like once I got to turf, that's on me. You know what I mean?
On you. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I recently, yeah, just having a crew of people you're around. And if you can't, because what we did when I was doing cold calling is we'd have like a Discord group, and we'd have everybody in the Discord group making calls. You can hear them making calls, and that kind of motivates you to make more calls. And it's whether some people you maybe not find that in person, depending on where you are. Most of the times you will be able to, but if you can't, make a group, bro. Make something online, sort it out. So yeah, in
100%.
regard, yeah, in regards to the crew, it's crazy how much like my friend and I last night we're like we just came from training. We're like, there's ice cream in the fridge. I looked at ice cream. I was like, yeah, if you eat that, you're a bitch. And then he looked at me. He's like, it was like we both wanted the ice cream, but we're like,
But now you said it. Now you said it. So
yeah,
now if you eat it, you're a bitch. If you just ate the ice cream, you could have had a different mindset. You could have like, that's a reward. Okay, I finished training. I deserve this ice cream. I'm gonna eat it, no problem. But now that you said that, now you can't eat it.
now you
It's
can.
like I'll be working out, and I'll be like, I'll be done with whatever I plan to do, like after third, fourth set or whatever, and I'm like, just chilling. I'm just sitting there, and then sometimes like I don't have any thoughts because I'm just recovering, and then somewhere in my brain it's like, do another set, like your enemy did another set,
Yeah,
and I can't even control it. I'm at the point where I've trained my brain to just randomly chime in at times like
yeah,
that, and then I'm just sitting there like, fuck, like now I have to do another set, or else like what am I gonna do? Say, wow, like my enemy did another set, and I'm just gonna say, nah, I'm good. Like I can't do that. Like in my body and my soul, I can't, because then I will regret it for the rest of the day. I'm like, man, if I didn't do that other set, I'm like, okay, well, was I gonna die? No. What was he gonna do? Like increase the time that I'm in the gym by like 5 minutes? Oh, it's gonna be a little hard. I'm gonna be better for it anyway. Like what, And it's like just random stuff like that. It'll chime in. Like something as menial as like your villain's going up the steps 3 at a time right now.
yeah,
Shit, man, I gotta go up 3 at a time. Boom, 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 boom. Like it's random stuff like that. But it's I think it's good because it makes me better. It keeps me on my toes. It's like, okay, like let's not just walk through life like we're going down a maze with a piece of cheese in our head. You know what I mean? Let's take control of the little things that don't even matter, just to
yeah,
remind yourself that you're really in control of whatever you do. You can literally. I chose to come to Playa del Carmen right now and live here. For a little bit. Like I could have easily just chose literally any other city in the world. Just like, I chose excuse me, just like I chose the company to work with for solar, just like I chose to move across the country, right? And made that decision, and every single decision like that stacks if you do it on a daily basis.
right, yeah, yeah. And so we kind of went off on a tangent there. And by the way, we ended up having apples. No worries, no worries, no problem. We ended up having apples. Like instead of ice cream, we just looked at each other. I was like, fuck,
You had what?
apples. Like
Apples?
just fruits. Yeah,
Dude.
had an apple went to bed. Yeah, yeah. So
Even better.
that's a consistent thing because we've both been sick for the past 2 days, and I've been like, he's like, I'm not going to the gym today. I'm like, no, we'll go in, and then I'll
You're
be
on
sick.
Twitter, yeah?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter.
There's lots of good resources. Obviously, I don't know how sick you are or anything like that, but I use Twitter now. I'm kind of off of like generic money Twitter, and I'm on
Mm,
a little bit of base Twitter, a little bit of like biohacking Twitter, a little bit of crypto, everything. But there's a lot of good resources. If you find the right accounts, you can search tweets really easy. So if you go to an account that you trust to do a lot of stuff that has a lot of good knowledge, right? Like I follow a couple good like biohacking accounts. And if I'm sick or if I have a specific need that I need to solve, I'll just go to their account. I'll search that keyword and find all their tweets about it.
mm. Let me make a note of that. So I'll just message you after this and see
For
what you.
sure. I mean, there's lots of good accounts, you know.
I'll check them out. All right, great, perfect. Yeah, because it's been crazy. I was sick and then I was fine and then I was sick again and then he got sick and then I got sick and it's just been a crazy past 2 weeks, right? So, uh, before we move on from sales, do you have any? 'Cause of course, through door knock, you would have learned uh, a lot of the skill. The main problem I'd say with salesmen is, firstly, do you have any like a blueprint for the opener that you use when you're door knocking?
It changed, and that was part of the problem when I was door
Mm,
knocking because like I was trying out a bunch of different stuff, trying to see what
mm,
works instead of just like saying, "All right, I'm gonna do this. And I'm gonna really nail this down." Which you got to find your style, you got to find your thing. So it's not completely a
yeah,
bad thing, but my sales style is super transparent. I level with people all the time. Like, bro, like they get knocked so many times. They live in California, solar. Like that was you know, the solar rush was in California. It's like they've been knocked before. They know the deal. Like there's
yeah,
no some people will like dress up in orange vests and be like, I'm from the utility or they won't say it, but it'll imply they're from the utility company and like try to trick people, right? I'm just like, look, bro, this is what I got for you. I can lower your bills, like, and I just level with them, you know.
yeah.
I forget what I forget what I'd say. It's been a while now.
Mm. So
But
that's how you kind of differentiate yourself from like most people, because everybody goes in and they have this like distraction trying to trick people.
bro, like then sales of the '90s, like that doesn't work anymore. You know what I mean? Like people know what's going on. Like I just like to say, look, I have a product or service. Do you have a need for that product or service? And a lot of it's not that they don't have the need, but like when you're knocking doors, they've been knocked 50 times already, right? And so they're like, oh, it's just another door knocker. They don't actually think about the concept of what it is that we're offering, right? Because maybe it was ill explained by the previous people that were coming at the door. Maybe they had a bad experience with another person who came to the door. Maybe the guy last time was a dick or something like that. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah,
for me, it was just pushing past that barrier of and getting them to drop their guard of okay, I'm actually gonna like listen to the words you're saying instead of just seeing you as some random dude at my door. So I mean, yeah, as long as you can get them to drop their guard like that, then you have a fighting chance because especially with solar, like pretty much everyone could take advantage of it. It's not like other products or services where it's like this guy's actually a good fit, this guy's actually not a good fit. Like as long as they have a utility bill that's like over $100, you can cut that down, and lock it in. Like that's pretty much what it was. So like, why would you pay 100 when you can? That's going to keep increasing when you can pay 70 and lock it in. Which with inflation coming, like that's probably going to be pretty valuable here. So it's just kind of getting them to understand that initially, so they'll actually listen to what you have to say.
and that comes from just being transparent, being honest, instead of coming with like a utility vest on. Like,
That's what I like to do. I mean, there's different strokes. You know what I'm saying? But I like to be super transparent. I like to level with people. I'm like, look, yeah, like this is what I got. Like this is how it can help you. And they're like, no, no, no. Like, oh, no, I don't want to. It's like, why not, bro? What do you mean? Like, you're the one being unreasonable. I'm trying to help you.
yeah, yeah. I was actually wondering the same thing because the area that I would be going to, it's been knocked and knocked over and over again. So I know that somebody has tried already the utility vest and the oh, I'm with such and such utility company, and I just feel like you can trick somebody so many times until you just can't.
But
You
bro,
know,
it's never been knocked by you.
it's never been knocked by me.
Never been knocked by you. You're giving way too much credit to the people who have already knocked that area. You're giving way too much credit to these people. Like it is hard. Like if like I'm walking down the street in Playa. Playa is a pretty touristy area. There's lots of people who are like, buy this, come to my shop, do this, come on, come on. They're like literally like try to drag you in. You know what I mean? And it gets annoying because every single day I'm like, bro, I've been walking these streets for like 2 months. Like, what do you mean? You see me every day. My answer has not changed. Like, I don't want your stuff, you know. But sometimes like I have a different day. and I'm like, maybe I do need tequila today. You know what I mean? Like maybe I have a party to plan tonight, right? And
Yeah.
this is the day, right? And they're persistent about it. And like that's another thing. It's like you never know what they're going through on their side. You only see if they're yelling at you, if they're a dick, like they might just be a dick, right? They might also be having a really bad day, right? Or they might have been having a bad day for the last person to knock the door, and with you, just so happens you catch them on a good day, right? Or
Right.
maybe the way that you present it is just better, or the vibes that you give off are better than the other people because you're actually being genuine. I'm very ethical with my sales. Like if it's actually not good for someone, I don't want their money because I'm a very big believer in sales karma. So if I sell them something when they don't need it, even if I get money up front for that, that's going to end up biting me at the end of the day because sales karma is super real. So like, that's why I'm not too worried about stuff. I'm just like, look, if I put in the work that it's going to take to be successful and I do it, I mean, I'm intelligent, I know that about myself. So if I do it in, a way that's intelligent, like I'm going to see the results. Doesn't matter if this guy's having a bad day. Like, doesn't matter, if I present it well, the law of averages is going to take over. I'm going to get, 5 deals a month or five deals a month at, 5K a pop or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So for you, it was so your technique was transparency and okay, okay. And do you? So I just want to get like a feel for how you presented it because I know you don't remember the complete pitch, but you basically be like, okay, uh, you just break down exactly how this can benefit them, and then they just be like a yes or a no, right?
Uh, and we can go over this after the call as well. I can kind of look at my old stuff and get
All
back
right.
in.
Because
We
that
can go.
actually personally be super interesting.
Yeah, yeah, no, I know. And that's why this conversation's good. We can go into some role plays and stuff like that if you want. But I just be like, hey man, I'm Corey with Better Earth. I'm helping out a few of your neighbors in the area. We're lowering some electric bills. Have you I'm wondering like your how your roof is literally perfect for solar. I'm sure you've looked at this before. Like why haven't you got solar before? Just get out their objections, answer their objections. You know,
Yeah.
and go from there. Really, it's really not that complicated, not that hard, but people think it's hard because they get a no and then they analyze, like overanalyze what they did. And it's really just like, no, like that's like it's just the law of averages. You know what I mean? It's
Mm.
it's really my sales philosophy correlates with the book High Probability Selling,
Yeah.
which is basically it's just a numbers game. Like if you're high probability prospecting, you're saying, I have this. Do you want this? Yes or no? And if they say no, like unless it's a really easy objection to handle or unless it's a smoke screen, just be like, okay, cool, on to the next. And then hit more doors, right? Because think about it. With the time you spend turning 3 maybes into yeses, you could have hit three times the doors and got 5 more deals. Which 5 to 3, that's 2 more deals. Like obviously
Yeah.
these numbers are made up, they're arbitrary, but like that's my sales philosophy is, you know, like you can spend time convincing people. I mean, it's different strokes, like I said, because it depends on how much of an iron mind you have, right? If you need the yes to be able to get you to like through your day, just because that's how your brain works, then yeah, go in and try to attack the sale, answer all the objections when you're prospecting, spend time at the door, right? Because you need that yes to get that extra boost, that extra dopamine rush.
Right.
But if you are content in the fact of, look, this is the law of averages, I have an iron mind, I'm just going to get as many doors in today as possible, and I'm going to, do my best, and the results are going to come. If you're good with that, like actually, then you don't have to waste time at those doors that no matter how long you're going to be there, like it's probably going to be a no. You know what I mean? It might be a yes, maybe. But I'd say if you need that extra like push to get you through the day, just because you're in a position to where, you need that to keep going, to keep going, then I'd say, that would probably be a net benefit. But for me, it's just like, how many people can I get this in front of? Because I know this is a quality product. And so at the end of the day, like some
Yeah.
people are doing this.
Right.
Does that
Right.
make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. For me, from what I've seen, I think it's like a mixture of both in regards to uh so I one of the people in the Discord group that I was in when I was cold calling, what their pitch was literally, okay, this is what I have, XYZ, do you want this, yes or no? But the problem is people would it sounds too much like a pitch, right? What you say when you say it comes off more natural. So I think for anybody that's watching, it's not just write down a script and then boom, boom and then send that out. It's also somewhat connected to the human. It's just don't get lost in that,
It,
right?
it's presentation, bro. That's all
Yeah.
it is. And like, it's how well of an orator you are. It's how well you speak. Like, it's how much. It's your vocabulary. It's everything. Like, if you're not a good speaker, dude, read the dictionary. Learn, like, you don't have to even just read the dictionary now. You can go on a website. Like, you can learn more. You can broaden your vocabulary. You can just literally read. Like, no one reads anymore, bro. No one reads books. Read a book out loud, like, to yourself out loud in your room. Like, just practice speaking. You know what I mean? Like, so many people think they're good speakers, but they're really just not, right? And the more ability you have to speak well, the more you can nuance, or the more you can tailor what you're saying to the person you're saying it to. Like, if it's a really high energy person, I can tell that I'm gonna match that energy. You know, I'm gonna be like, yo, like, is that your kid running around? Like, your kid's running around and, little Crocs? Like, that's cool. Like, whatever, right? If it's a super low energy person, I'm gonna be like, look, man, like, yeah, this is what it is. You haven't heard about it like this? Yeah, bro, this is what,
Mm,
you have to match their energy. You have to be able to speak well. And a lot of people just say, okay, this is my script. I'm just going to read the script. But, like, there's little nuances you can add. Like, you can literally, when I'm writing my script sometime, I'll add the word ha ha. Obviously, I'm not going to say ha ha out loud, but I'm going to
yeah,
laugh, like, laugh in the middle, like I just did there. Like,
yeah,
I'm gonna add, like, add a little laugh in, right? You see how,
mm,
like, see how smooth that was?
yeah. I
It's
see it.
really, like, authentic, even though it was in my script, right? I mean,
Mm,
look, part of my job, man, is part of my job is make sure we're not putting you on the street by doing this, right? So, I mean, is this going to be able to be something you're going to be able to invest in,
yeah,
right?
yeah. That's
Instead
for
of, like, part of my job's to make sure that we don't put you on the street by doing this. Is this something you can invest in? Then it's like, bro, I don't know about that. You know,
yeah, yeah,
there's nuance to it, man.
yeah. I got that. And how is that? How has that sales experience helped you when it comes on to networking, right? In regards to like for a lot of people, for most people, we're just young. We don't have as much value to provide to like these big G's making shit ton of money. Uh, have you is there any way that you found sales helps you when it comes on to networking with higher value people?
Of course, bro. So, like we were talking about earlier, sales is everything. Like, how you present yourself, how you think. What do you think is going to put you in a better situation if when you do get into that social group? Like, imagine you find your way to a dinner like that
Mm,
through some online group that you find, or whatever.
mm,
You know,
yeah,
that was a joke, but no. Imagine you put yourself in a situation where you're at a dinner with important people that you want to impress, right?
right, right,
Well, you can obviously you need to sit there and listen. You better sit there and listen because
right.
you don't have anything, or it's not that you don't have anything to offer, but you just got to take it in. When you're around people who are above your level like that,
Right.
observe the little things. Observe how they act. Observe what they do when they check their phone, who they look at when they're talking. Like, observe those little things and note them in your mind. Don't just, like, mindlessly just sit there like an NPC. Just be like, I'm at a dinner with rich people. Like, I
Yeah,
know these people now. Like, actually observe how, like, you're around energy that you are not usually around, right? And if that's what you want to emulate, then observe and, like, keep notes in your phone. I literally, when I started networking with that caliber of people, I would keep, like, a notepad of things that I just observed, random thoughts, kind of like how people just, like, tweet their thoughts like a journal,
yeah,
which is kind of what I
yeah.
do. I'm not looking to grow my account. I'm just looking to, like, kind of keep a journal my thoughts, my life. That's kind of how I would put it in my notes. I'd be like, this guy did this, done. And then like after the event or after the dinner or whatever I was at, I'd look at those notes and I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. Coming from, I'm not in that environment anymore. I'm gonna look at that. Yeah, I remember that. Okay, awesome. Like now I know that. Now I've internalized that, right? But to answer your original question, I told you I go on tangents a lot. To answer your original question, like how does sales affect that? Like everything is sales. Like what do you think? How do you think you're gonna impress these kinds of people more? If you're a normal person with a normal vocabulary, or if you are an expert orator with a very extended vocabulary. It's little things like that. Like I said,
Yeah.
if you read paragraphs out loud, go online, expand your vocabulary, like keep a list of your vocabulary in your notes. Do it with a friend. You can share notes on Apple, on Google, and like the notepad.
Yeah.
You grab a friend, be like, look, with every new word I hear that I don't know, I'm gonna put it in this, and it's gonna update for both of us, and we're gonna learn words. And then next time I see you, I'm gonna use that in a sentence, and we're gonna see if it's right. Little
Right.
things like that. I would say, and you're going to gain those kind of experiences through sales because it's going to just become more natural. It's not going to be like super overt. It's going to be like subconscious, but just by like, think of, if you knock 100 doors a day, you're talking to 100 people a day that you usually wouldn't be talking to. Who else would you talk to? Like your mom and like your friend and whoever you're playing Xbox with, right? You're talking to 100 strangers a day trying to sell them something. Do you think that's not going to increase your ability to speak well in environments like that? You know what I mean? So, I mean, even if you're cold calling, right? Or whatever, that's why, sales is a good vehicle to be able to get you there. But
Yeah. Yeah, I got you. And what I've been doing actually for the past, I'd say past 3 months, I haven't been focusing on anything when it comes down to networks or relationships or anything like that. It's just been like things come, things go, but it's never been a focus of mine, right? It's just been fitness and money, and then everything comes after that. That's kind of something uh, that has been preached by a certain section of people, and other people are like, focus on everything, focus on the money, focus on fitness, focus on the relationships, focus on network, all of that. Which side do you lean to more when it comes down to what to focus on as a man?
you can't, it's both, bro. You're focusing on everything, but you're focusing on certain things more, like
Yeah,
on sliders. Certain things are on sliders. You turn up the dial. It's like, when you're messing with like a speaker or whatever, or
yeah,
an amplifier.
yeah,
Obviously, you have to level up in all these different areas, but
right,
you can't give all of your energy to all of these different areas.
yeah. So it's yeah,
You have to turn them up a certain amount of times, and as you upgrade, this will go up, and then you turn this one up, and then you turn this one up, and then you refocus on that one, right? And eventually it'll just bring your whole status up as a man, right? Because I would say the order of importance, if you're starting at all zeros, are your body and your mind, the physical, right? Get your mind right first, get your body right first, right? Hit the gym. Like you can't do anything if you're not in the gym, bro. I'm not gonna lie. You can't expect to do good at sales if you aren't in the gym. I'm sorry. And now, obviously, some people will come at you and be like, "Oh, well, I don't go to the gym and I'm good at sales." It's like, shut up, bro. Like, just get in the gym. That's what I'm saying. Just get in the gym. It's gonna help your sales. Like, trust.
yeah,
It's gonna boost your self confidence. Like, if you're sitting in a room, if you're getting sold something, you're about to make a deal you're about to make a $10 million deal on an apartment complex, right?
yeah,
You have two people trying to sell you something. One, big fat dude, 300 pounds, sits there, no personal hygiene, and he's like, "This is my apartment complex." Second guy, super jacked, very professional. He's obviously put the work in to get to where he's at. Like, who are you going to trust on a baseline level, just intuitively?
right,
The
right.
one who struggles to take care of himself, or the one who has the discipline to get to where he's got?
Mm,
You know what I mean? That's assuming that it's in a vacuum and all other, factors are the same. But my point is that people will respect you more if you put in the work to like get big and have that discipline, because they know you have that discipline. And one, if they aren't that big or they haven't put in that work, then they'll respect you because you did. 2, if they did put in that work, they'll respect you because they know what it takes to put in that work because they did it, right? So that's what I'd say. The first thing, if you're starting at all zeros, you need to focus on getting your body right and getting your mindset right. Because otherwise, what are you really doing? Like, how can you expect to make money if your mindset isn't right? You know, and if you're not like we were not made to be sitting in cubicles, bro. We were made to go hunt and kill our food, and we're sitting in cubicles hunched over on our phones. We were made to be active. So if you're not going to the gym, how is that healthy?
Yeah. That does
We were not evolved. We like technology, the evolution of technology outpaced the evolution that we see as humans. Like we were not made to be in cubicles. We're made to be hunting our food right now. But because of phones and because of technology, that's where we're at. So you have to take care of yourself. You have to exert that energy. Like that's why they say why do you think everyone has a Fitbit or an Apple Watch? Like get your steps in.
Yeah.
Right? Duh. Get your steps in, bro. Go hunt for your food today. Did you hunt for your food today? Like did you go to the gym today? You know what I mean? It's like
yeah, I get what you're saying.
You can't expect to be good in any other realm of life if you don't have that baseline.
Right. All right. So first thing, and I guess the factors change depending on where you are in life. So first thing you'd say is fitness and mental health, or
Dude, absolutely.
not? Yeah, how strong your mind is, right? I hate saying mental health because it's been made so weird.
No, but it's true. It's true.
Yeah,
Mental health, it's a thing, man.
it's true. And then, well, I'd say majority of people would probably be money right after that.
The majority of people would be wrong.
Would be wrong? No?
The
What else
majority
would
of
it be?
people would be wrong.
What would it be after that?
Think of it this way, bro.
Mm.
The reason that people would put money there is because we are a people of instant gratification. Right? So if they could, they'd put money first, right?
Right.
If they could just win the lottery without having to work out or put in the work, they would do that, right? Most people.
Yeah.
But then you don't get to experience the hard work that it took to get to that money.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so you take it for granted. And 2, then you're not going to go back and retroactively put in that hard work unless you're super disciplined.
Yeah.
Have a change of heart or something like that. Like it's like Tate says, right? Lambo pulls up, super skinny dork looking kid pulls out, right? He still looks like a dork. You still don't respect him, even though he pulls up in the Lambo.
Yeah.
Still looks like a nerd, right? Even though he got crypto pump and now he bought a and he bought a Lambo from it. Like he's still a dork, and you know it, and he knows it. Right. That's my inner Tate coming out, but
it's true. It's true.
And then big jacked guy comes out of the Lambo looking clean with the suit on, or the track suit on, and you're like, guy, dude, pretty mysterious, mafia boss, maybe. Like, you know what I mean? Because he's put in the work to get there, bro. That's why you respect him more. That's why you'll buy the $10 million apartment complex from him over the dork, even if they have the same exact deal. Maybe even if the dork has a better deal, because you respect this guy more.
Yeah.
And so that's why money isn't next, bro. If you get your body right and you get your mind right and you're on your path as a man and nothing's going to distract you, what naturally happens from that? You start attracting more attention. People. Right, exactly. You start attracting more attention from people, whether that be girls or whether that just be people that you meet on the street, at nice dinners, in the club, right? Because they actually respect you. Right. From a baseline level without even knowing you. They're like, okay, like, who is this guy? This guy doesn't look like a dork. He looks like a G, right? Wonder what he does. And so that starts conversation, right? And naturally, your networking skills start to develop, right? You start to talk to more people. You start to make more contacts. You're better at talking to girls, right? Because you're jacked and you're on your mindset and you're not simping, right?
Yeah.
On your path. So, you know how to handle that. If you roll up with a really hot chick at the club, or two or three, you're going to gain that respect immediately from everyone in the club. And that's going to help you network as well, because then those people are going to be like, yo, this guy rolled in with three hot bitches, and like, who is this guy? Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's going to get you contacts too, because you're going to be able to network with those guys, and you're going to be able to maybe see what they do,
Yeah.
collab on a business deal, right? Then what happens naturally after that? Then the money comes. The money comes because of those things. But if you just go to the gym and get your mind right, you can't expect money to just immediately happen because, I went to the gym, so I deserve $1 million. That's not how life works,
Yeah.
But if you say, okay, I go to the gym, so now I'm gonna practice talking to people and, raising the level of females that I interact with. Now I'm going to raise my social status, learn how to talk to people better, learn how to network better, talk to more girls, increase my confidence there. Bro, the money comes naturally after that. You don't even have to try. The money just comes to you because you're just attracting that kind of energy. So that's the order I would put it in if you're starting at absolute zero. Is body, mind, the basics of physicality and mental health, right? And then naturally, what comes next? Good networking. You're good at talking to girls. What comes next after that, right? That opens up business opportunities, and the money just comes to you, bro. Like, and it's not easy to do, and it takes a long time, which is why people want to go straight for the money after that. But if you have the patience to be able to see the long-term picture, then you realize that the money is going to come to you eventually at the end of the day if you just keep putting out that energy. So why exert the energy to get the money before you're ready? Like, it's going to be better for you at the end of the day.
I feel like it is better to go about it that way because there are probably a lot of people that are seeing this video and like, look, there's so many rich guys that are fat. The richest guys are fat, blah blah blah, this and that. But I mean, I feel like, what would you rather be? A billionaire at 70 and you're fat and old and wrinkled, or like a multi or centimillionaire at like 35 and you're ripped as shit?
Bro, Tate had that exact same example too, because whenever he talks about whenever he went to the Bugatti dinner, right? Bro, he's at the Bugatti dinner. Like, bro, the networking at that event is immaculate. Like, the people there are on a different level, right?
Right.
Rich, multi-billionaire oil sheiks. But what do they come with? They're all fat, right? Maybe a little bit smelly. I don't know. That's just doing ad hominem. But, they show up with maybe girls that they pay to be there with them, right? Tate rolls in with, however many women who are actually like, they see him as the light of their world, right? That's something that they don't have. And so even though they have $1 billion and, Tate only has, however many million, they envy him, and he is the light of that event, because they all know, okay, like, he has something that we don't have. And they skipped the step, whether they wanted to or not. They didn't get their body right. They didn't get their networking right. They did their money first. It could have been inherited, whatever, right? They got their money first, and then they went back and kind of tweaked their networking and their social circle, right? And they never even got to the gym. Tate rolls up. He's Big G. He's been in the gym. He's put in the work. World champion kickboxer.
Yeah.
He has these women who are obsessed with, actually truly in love with him, he did not pay to be there, right? And he's still at the Bugatti dinner. So who's really has the value there,
You're right. Have you been doing?
That's why.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that's why Tate says, like, it's better to start broke and then make it than like inherit your money and then create your business, because there's nothing that can replace the hard work and the experiences that you learn from in order to get there.
So I'm guessing you plan on having like lots of sons, yeah?
Of course, bro. Why are we here on this earth, man?
I'm guessing, yeah. So for me, I don't think I don't think I want to give my sons any like. We look at a lot of rich families. They put money aside and they have their sons inherit like a lot of the wealth.
Yeah.
I don't think I want them to have that. I think I want them to grow up a little bit broke, at least for the first 18, 19, 20 years, achieve something, and then maybe then get the money. How would you? Do you have a plan for that in regards to growing
Bro,
your
I'm
sons
not
with
gonna
money?
go. I'm not gonna go all Jackie Chan and be like, I'm donating all my money to charity. Like, good luck. Like, I want to set up my future generations, right? But at the same time, you got to go through that hard work,
Mm,
right? Like,
yeah,
as a man, daughters, I'll make sure they have a good life,
yeah,
until they're set up with someone who can take care of them, right? But for my sons, yeah, you got to put in the work. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna make their life like
yeah.
homeless or rich. Like, we'll still go on vacation, and you have to be very, very nuanced with everything you do, because everything you do and say, and every vacation you send them on at a certain age, like, that impacts how they think. That's why, rich kid, like, that's why they have the prejudice of, like, rich kids are super spoiled and stuff like that, because they've gotten everyone daddy's money, everything like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, they've been on vacation without having to work for it, right? I am in Playa right now, living. About to leave, about to pick up shop, go explore the world a little bit. But I've been here, right? And the reason I have the ability to be here is because I've put in the work. I made the decision to leave my corporate job to go learn how to sell in California, and then I left California because I wanted to make location independent income, sky money, right? I've put in the work to be here, and so I can enjoy the fruits of my labor to be able to not be in the Midwestern city that I grew up in, right? Or not have to be there. So for my kids, like, they have to put in the work to, like, it's the reward mechanism, right? Like, you can't get a reward without putting in the work, because otherwise you take it for granted, and otherwise it's not even a reward anymore. You don't value it. Like, I don't have, like, I'm not super into, like, big designer clothes or anything like that.
right.
But there was one month where I was like, all right, I'm just going to set a goal for myself for this month. I want to set an income goal. If I hit X amount of dollars, I'm gonna buy myself a pair of Louboutin sunglasses. I saw a pair, and I could have bought it right there, and I was like, yeah, I mean, like, I could see myself in those. Those look cool, right? Just in the store, and I could have bought them there, but I was like, listen, if I buy them right now, I'm gonna wear them. They're gonna be cool, right? And I'll probably get bored of them. But if I hit this income goal this month and then buy them, I'm gonna value those
Yeah,
motherfuckers,
that's worth
right?
something. It's really worth something.
So that's what I mean by the reward mechanism. And I did, and I bought them, and they're dope. I love them because I earned them, right? And it's the same thing you were talking about with the ice cream, like earlier. If you would have had that mindset of, okay, I'm gonna do this workout, I'm gonna do 50 extra push-ups, and then I'm gonna earn my ice cream, then it wouldn't have been a problem, right? Basically, to go back into what we were saying with the original question, because I'm a professional. I'm gonna give my sons the resources to be able to be successful.
Right.
I'm not gonna make them start from nothing, but money wise, they gotta make most of their own money, bro. I'm not gonna set them up with anything. Like, they gotta learn. I'll teach them, absolutely. Like, I'll help them every step of the way. I'll teach them. I'll make sure they're in good, like, let's put it this way. I'll pay for school, but I'm not gonna give them a job.
Mm.
If that analogy makes sense.
You pay for yeah, yeah,
I'll make sure they're in a position to be able to be successful, but
yeah.
I'm not going to give them success. They got to earn that.
You'll put them in the right environment to
Yeah,
be able
exactly.
to, yeah, yeah. I get that. Yeah, I get that's the same thing I was thinking. I was just curious about that. And for the girls, you'll just have them. Uh, how did you do that? How did you go about it?
Bro, and this is me and you talking, bro. Like I mean, I don't have kids, so I don't know. It might change, might be different. My
Yeah,
mindset.
yeah. It's just me and you talking, really and
For sure,
truly.
bro. For
Yeah.
sure. Right now, for my daughters, I'll provide everything that they need. I'll give them the life that they want. I'm gonna make sure they don't end up spoiled, right?
Mm.
But I'm gonna take care of them until they decide that they want someone else to take care of them, and
Right,
then
right,
someone else's turn to take care of them. You know what I mean? So
right,
I
right.
don't
Because
know. We'll see
I've
what
always,
happens.
yeah, I've always been curious about that. I've always thought about, because when I have money, I want to have lots of sons too. I've always thought about how I'd grow them, how what I want to turn out, how I want them to be like, and then how I'd have daughters and how they'd be like. So it's always been in my mind. I've always wondered.
I'm excited for it, man. I actually had this conversation with my buddy the other day because we're the same age,
Mm.
and he was like, "I'm not even close to being ready for kids." Right? I mean, I'm 25 right now. He's like, "I'm not even close to being ready for kids. Like, I still have to put in all this work. I still have to build. I still have to do all this stuff. Like, I'm not even thinking about that. Maybe when I'm 30. Maybe when I'm like, like after 30." And for me, I'm like, look, I can't wait. I'm not ready, but I can't wait. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like once I'm in a position, like as long as I'm financially able and I find the right woman to be able to say, okay, I've put in the time and the work to make sure that this is a woman who I'm okay with raising my kids, then I'm ready, bro. I want as much life with my bloodline as possible.
yeah,
So why wait till you're 30, 40, Like I want as much life as possible with these little dudes. I want 20 sons, bro. I want little ducklings running around
funny.
with like swords ready to conquer the world, right behind me in a V formation. Like
Yeah,
that's what I want, man. And we're not getting any younger. Like 25 is really young, but like it was only like 2-3 generations ago that it was the norm to start having kids at like freaking 18, bro. Like that's a lot of solid quality life you get to have with
yeah,
generations, like people who are alive with their great grandparents and the great
yeah,
great like. And so I think that as long as I'm financially able to like set right, and then the woman like I vetted, and I'm like, okay, like I'm okay with this woman raising my children, then I'm ready, man. Let's get them rolling. 20 sons, however many daughters it takes to get to 20 sons. And I'll tell you, bro, that's the funniest frame to talk to with chicks too, because it's so out of pocket. Like it's so like, for me at least personally, I look like I have a different vibe than most other people. So they're like, who's this guy? Right? Like, I don't know. Like, this is just me being subjective to myself, and based on my experiences. But they're like already a little bit intrigued. But when I drop that line and that frame, that immediately changed. They're like, what? Like, they've never heard that before.
yeah,
Like, 20 sons, and they kind of laugh it off. They're like, haha, like, wait, is he serious? Like,
yeah. They're like,
and then
there's
I
no
say
way.
it in a joking tone that I am serious. I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, why wouldn't, like, look at me. Come on, look at me. Like, you don't want 20 of me running around? And then I say the duckling line, and it gets a lot, dude. It's every single time it hits, and it also sets a good frame because they're like, then they're like, well, I probably can't give them 20 kids, right?
Mm.
Or maybe I don't even want to. And then so they're already wondering, like, okay, like what's gonna happen? If he's actually serious, how's he gonna get to 20 kids? And that sets frames down the road that could be favorable if you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. That's yeah, yeah. That's funny as shit. The ducklings with the swords.
It's
That,
true, bro. I don't know. I just made it up, but it's like it is true. Like I want isn't that what every man wants? Like little clones of themselves, just like figuring out life. You're leading the charge, and
yeah,
like turn them into people that where they can become their own person and help your bloodline. Like I want to be the patriarch, bro. And this is a cliche, like masculine energy thing to say, but dude, I want to be in the family picture. I want to be sitting on my throne with my family surrounding me in a sea of my bloodline. Like, I want to be old with the beard, just like sitting on the throne. Like, yeah, I did all this.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
want. And
That's something I want too. That's why, because I'm only 18, so and I'm thinking about it now. But I know I'm not gonna be having kids for a minute. But it's always been a curious topic for me. But
yeah, I mean, you just got to wait till you're at a point where it's not going to affect the path that you're on. Because if you get someone pregnant at 18, like you're not ready, you're not ready. Like you're still learning. You're going through all of the stuff that it takes to become the person you want to become, right?
yeah,
And that's subjective. You might be ready at 18, but I mean, you're super young, man. And so as long as it doesn't knock you off the path, like I'm ready, but you don't want to be put in a situation to where now you have to provide for this kid financially and you really can't do that. And that takes you away from what you're building and everything like that. Like that's going to drag you down.
mm,
You got to
yeah,
be ready.
true. It is. I know a guy. He got a girl pregnant at like 17. He's like, bro, it's the worst thing I've ever done.
Smart,
But
bro. Be professional,
yeah, yeah, that's true.
Have discipline, brother.
I'm disciplined. Yeah, so I've pretty much gone through all the questions I had for you on here. Is there anything else you wanted to kind of cover?
I mean, you asked me, man. Like I'm here to hang out
Mm,
with you and
yeah.
questions you have or talk about life or whatever. I don't know everything. I'm still figuring it out, bro. I just got a couple years on you. That's it.
That's true.
So
That's true. Well, yeah. What we could, I was thinking, I was like kind of iffy about because I don't really like talking. I don't usually talk about kind of dating or picking up girls or anything like that on the podcast. Because for
Mhm.
me, when I see pickup guys, it's kind of cringe to me. But then I have other friends that are like, nah, bro, you gotta look into this. I'm like,
What's cringe about it?
it's I don't know. It just when I see a YouTube video of this guy walking up with this girl and just saying all these different lines, it's kind of cringe.
That's because you're watching YouTube videos.
Yeah.
What's cringe about you walking up to a girl and telling her, "Hey, I'm sorry, I passed you, and you're just absolutely beautiful." Like, what's
No,
your
that's not cringe at all. But because I have friends that would recommend like pick up artist guys on YouTube, and I look at it, I'm like, this is cringe as fuck.
But that's exactly my point. It's
Yeah,
cringe because they're making it cringe. But there's
yeah,
nothing cringe about going out and saying and finding a girl that you find attractive and going to talk to her. You know what I mean? So, I'm not a pickup artist, bro. But if I see a hot girl on the street, like I'm gonna talk to
yeah,
her, like I'm not one of those guys that's just gonna be like, no, maybe she'll say no. Like, and sales has helped me with that. But it's like, okay, yeah, maybe she
yeah.
will say no. But like,
Law of averages, huh?
now, bro, what do you mean? Look at this. Come on.
Right,
Plus,
right.
it's so easy. All you
Yeah.
have to do is say, "Hey, I thought you were beautiful. What's your name? Where are you from? What are you doing tonight?" And
Mm,
then, what's your Instagram? They're not going to not give you their Instagram. Every girl has Instagram.
yeah.
Every dude follows her on Instagram, right? So you just get her Instagram at the end after you build some rapport. You send her a message with the rapport that you built, so she has incentive to respond. Then add a little emoji for some color and some flair. Hope that it doesn't go to her message requests, right?
Yeah.
And then if as long as you had solid rapport, like why wouldn't she text you back?
Yeah. Yeah. I
Or
agree.
set a plan from the cold approach, or be like, look, what are you doing tonight? Okay, cool. Like I'm going here at this time. Like, you meet me there. Let's go. Let's have a party. Come on. Oh, you don't want to party? Come on. Yeah, no, it'll be fun. It's like that kind of a vibe. Like you just got to make it fun. You got to be your own energy, be your own vibe, and like they'll just follow. If they're interested, they'll follow you. If they're not interested, you'll be able to tell. And then worst case, you got an Instagram follower out of it.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I prefer that. That's what I typically do. I just go up to a girl, I tell her she looks good, tell her she's beautiful. But yeah, I prefer that, man. I prefer that. Your style, I respect that. Instead of the going up there with some weird ass pickup line and all that. That's what I don't like.
Those are kind of fun if you have you have to be congruent. This is another sales topic. Like you have to be congruent with how you feel. You can't be incongruent with how you feel. If you're on a sales call and you're having a great day, have a great day, man. But if you're in a sales call and you're like feeling a little sick or like You're just like a little low energy. Don't pretend to be having the great day that you were the other day, you know, because that's gonna end up ruining the flow of things. And it's the same thing with chicks. Like if you actually thought she was beautiful, tell her she's beautiful. If you actually like the color of her nails, you're like, yo, like that's crazy. What color are those nails? What are those? What are those almond coffin?
Yeah.
Learn the little things like that, bro. Like learn the little things that they're like, how does he know what the name of the nail is? It doesn't even have to be right, bro. Here's free tip. One of the shapes of the nails is called almond. So just say almond whenever you're talking about nails, and they all know what it is. They'll be
Yeah.
like, how does he know? Like almond, how does he know that? You know what I mean? It doesn't even have to be right. It's just those little things. It's like astrology too. Like if you learn a little bit about astrology, even if you think it's dumb, and it goes so far because they're all like, "What's your sign?" Like, "Oh my gosh!" Like if you like, "Oh, I'm a candy corn," like you make fun of it a little bit, and then you actually have a little bit of knowledge about it as well. Like they're like, "Who is this guy, man? How does he know these things?" Like it's just the vibe you put out, right? If she's beautiful, tell her she's beautiful. If she's got good nails, make a joke. You know, talk about her nails. If but yeah, going up with the cheesy pickup line, like it's fun for the camera, but in reality, like I just prefer to just I have my own vibe, you know, and that's not my vibe. That might be someone else's vibe. That's cool. I can't judge, but I got my vibe.
Yeah, I relate to that vibe too. I prefer doing that, what you do. That's what works for me. That's what works for me. Maybe I was thinking, I was like, maybe I just need to try it out every now and then. Maybe I'll end up liking it. But for me, for me, it's been kind of weird when I see them online.
What's weird
Yeah.
about it, bro?
No,
Let's dig
no,
into
not
it. It's
in
important for
regards
sure.
to like the YouTube guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right, man. Well, I mean, I've gone through everything, everything I wanted to. I think it's been a great podcast. I'm gonna shoot over a copy of the video for you. But hey,
Absolutely.
I appreciate having you on, G.
Yeah, anytime, man. And we talk frequently, so you know, happy to come on anytime, or you know, continue to see you grow. You've made like extreme bounds in mindset and action taking and everything since you know we started talking. Like you know, we connected off a fluke basically, and
You did. You
here we
remember
are. Here we
the
are, man.
boxing story?
We're just two dudes figuring out life, you know. Like
Yeah.
that's what, like I said, all I got's a couple years on you, man. And you know, someday you'll be on my podcast. I'll be like, how'd you get up there, bro? Like, you know, how'd you? But no, it's fun. Appreciate you having me on, and always happy to talk about anything, life, business, you know, girls, 20
Yeah.
sons, ducklings, whatever it takes, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna get this one out, but I want to get another one when my brain's working actually, so we can get some.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, man. And let's role play some of that solar stuff before you get going.
Are you want to do that now? Let's do it.
No, I mean once I get the
Oh,
script and you
later
know
on.
get
Okay.
back into it. Yeah, I'm happy to
All right.
help you
No
out.
problem. No problem. I'm down. I'm super down. All
I'm
right.
actually gonna send you. I did a
Yeah.
um, I I did a I don't want to call it a speech,
Right.
but it was kind of similar to that. I did a presentation at an event for an
Mm,
organization that you
mm,
know a while back, and I'll send that to you. It's very relevant to what we're talking about with sales and with solar as well. So I'll send that to you, and I think it'll really help
right.
you.
All right. Great. I'll message you about that and a few other things, but let people know where they can find you. If there's anywhere you want them to find you, anything you got going on, let them know, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm not super big influencer yet. I'm not focusing on that for now. But the main thing that I do is I'm on Instagram at Corey Corey_JNS. That's my IG. I'm on Twitter too, but like those are just my thoughts, bro. I'm not trying to grow or anything like that. They're just kind of off the whim. And yeah, it's mainly IG. So happy to happy to talk to anyone about anything. Shoot me a DM. You know, give me a
Yeah.
comment, like whatever.
Yeah. I'll put that in the description. Everything. I'll sort everything out for you. But RG, I'll talk to you a little bit later about the
Well,
pack.
brother, happy to be on the Kingpin podcast.
Happy to have you. Happy to have
Have a
you.
good one.
Take care.